Her hand slapped across my face so hard, my ears rang. "How dare you accuse me of cheating?" She screamed, her eyes blazing with a fury I'd never seen before. But it wasn't the sting on my cheek that hurt. It was the glint of my best friend's watch on her nightstand that shattered my world. What was it doing there? I'm about to tell you a story that's hard to believe, but every single word is true. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on, because you're not going to want to miss how this ends. It all started 3 months ago at my own 30th birthday party. Our Chicago apartment was buzzing with friends. My wife, Sarah, was the perfect host, gliding through the crowd, her laugh echoing off the walls. She pulled me aside, her smile dazzling. "Happy birthday, my love," she whispered, kissing me deeply. 30 is going to be your year. Later that night, my best friend Mark clapped me on the back a little too hard. "You've got it all, man," he slurred, gesturing towards Sarah. The perfect life, the perfect wife. I remember feeling a strange unease, but I shook it off as birthday jitters. Soon after, the late nights at the office began. Sarah, a high-powered marketing exec, had always been ambitious, but this was different. She'd come home smelling faintly of a cologne that wasn't mine. When I asked, she'd just laugh it off. "It's a new client, babe. Some European fragrance brand. You're being paranoid." Then there were the hushed phone calls she'd take on the balcony, even in the freezing Chicago wind. If I walked out, she'd abruptly hang up. "Just work stuff," she'd say, her eyes avoiding mine. You wouldn't get it. The real shift was her cruelty. Small, cutting remarks at first. "You're really wearing that shirt?" she'd sneer. "It makes you look soft." She'd mock my job as a graphic designer, calling it my little arts and crafts project. Mark started coming around more, always when Sarah was home. They had inside jokes I wasn't part of. It exchanged glances across the dinner table, a shared, silent language of contempt aimed squarely at me. They thought I was a fool. They made me feel like one. The breaking point came one Tuesday night. Sarah was supposedly at a work dinner. I was feeling down and decided to drive over to Mark's place for a beer, hoping to talk to my best friend. As I pulled up to his building in Lincoln Park, I saw it. Sarah's white Tesla parked right out front. My heart hammered against my ribs. I sat in my car for an hour, the world spinning. I called her. It went straight to voicemail. I drove home a hollow shell. She waltzed in at 2 a.m., humming. "How was dinner?" I asked, my voice shaking. "You know," she said, not even looking at me. "Long." "Boring. You were probably asleep anyway." That night, I didn't sleep. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling as the woman I loved slept peacefully beside me, a liar in my bed. The next morning, I made a call. "Frank Donovan, Private Investigations," a gruff voice answered. I hired him on the spot. I wanted proof. I wanted everything. Frank was old school and brutally efficient. Within a week, I had a folder full of photos. Photos of Sarah and Mark kissing passionately in his car. Photos of them checking into a boutique hotel downtown. Photos of them holding hands, laughing, living a life they had stolen from me. Seeing them made me physically ill. I threw up in my office bathroom, sobbing until nothing was left. That was the day the old me died. The loving, trusting husband was gone. In his place was something cold and methodical. Spent the next 2 months playing the part of the oblivious husband. I smiled. I made dinner. I listened to Sarah's fabricated stories about her day. All the while, Frank was digging deeper. He uncovered their shared financial accounts, their secret trips, their plans to start a new life together once they'd bled me dry in a divorce. They were planning to claim I was abusive to get the apartment and my savings. The audacity was breathtaking. With my lawyer, I began to set my traps. I quietly moved all my personal savings into a new trust account she couldn't touch. I documented every lie, every late night, every condescending remark, cross-referencing them with Frank's reports. I even installed a hidden camera in our living room legally, as it was my home. The footage was damning. It caught them mocking me, planning my downfall, all while sitting on the couch I paid for. The day of reckoning was our 5th wedding anniversary. I told Sarah I was taking her to a fancy dinner at Alinea. She was thrilled, preening in a new dress she'd bought with my money. I also invited our parents and closest friends, telling them it was a surprise anniversary party. As everyone gathered at the restaurant's private dining room, a large screen I'd arranged for was hidden behind a curtain. After the appetizers, I stood up to make a toast. I looked directly at Sarah, her face beaming, then at Mark, who was standing beside her, smug as ever. 5 years, I began, my voice steady. 5 years of what I thought was love and partnership, but I've learned that some partnerships are more exclusive than others. A confused murmur went through the room. Sarah's smile faltered. I clicked a remote in my hand. The curtain dropped, and the screen flickered to life. It started with the photos. Sarah and Mark locked in an embrace. Then the hotel receipts, and the bank statements from their secret account. Her mother gasped. His father stared in disbelief. Finally, the video. The audio was crystal clear. Sarah's voice filled the silent room. He's so pathetic. He believes every word I say. Once the divorce is final, and we get the apartment, we can finally be together properly. Mark's laugh followed. He never saw it coming, babe. Easiest score of my life. Sarah turned ghostly white. Mark looked like he was about to be sick. Chaos erupted. Her father stood up, his face purple with rage, and screamed at her. Friends looked at them with pure disgust. In the pandemonium, I walked over to Sarah. I didn't raise my voice. I leaned in and whispered, "The locks are changed. Your things are in garbage bags on the curb. A process server is waiting for you outside with divorce papers citing adultery, along with a lawsuit against Mark for alienation of affection. You get nothing." I turned and walked out of the restaurant, leaving the fire I had started to burn. I never saw her again, but I heard she lost her job. Her family disowned her, and she had to move back to her tiny hometown, completely ruined. Sometimes, late at night, I still sit in the quiet of my apartment, the one she tried to steal. I think about her perfect smile and wonder if any of it was ever real. The only thing I know for sure is that trust is a fragile thing. Once it's broken, it leaves behind only ghosts. The end.